big day in politics here in Canberra. We've had the swearing in of the new ministry for Anthony Albanese and the election of the new Liberal Party leader for the first time in the party's history. It is a woman, Sussan Ley, elected. Joining me now is the Australian's foreign editor, Greg Sheridan. Thank you for your time. Look, still an historic day for the Liberal Party. They'd rather be doing it from a position of strength, I'm sure. What did you make of what panned out in that meeting today?
Oh, look, Tom, I think it was a pretty sensible choice. Sussan Ley has not been a star at any stage of her career, but she's a very solid performer. She's deeply within the culture of the Liberal Party. It's right that they choose a woman if a woman is a credible alternative. And here's a thought for you, Tom. Sussan Ley could think of herself as the Liberal Party's Anthony Albanese, long underestimated, never thought likely to be a Prime Minister. They're a long way away from being threatening to get back into government. But I think, a solid, unflashy person who tries to bring the party together and negotiate policy compromises with the National Party. I think, look, they're in a woeful situation, but I think this is as good an outcome as they could have got. And Ted O'Brien certainly mastered his portfolio very well in opposition. Yeah. And that's, you want a frontbencher who's going to do plenty of work.
So I suppose this next term, I don't think there'll be a massive policy offering. There'll be, again, a big focus on what Labor's doing. They've got plenty of challenges in the economy, for example, in the budget and so on. They'll need alternatives, but maybe they'll be sorted out a little bit earlier and clearer this time. But does Sussan Ley's big advantage over Peter Dutton someone that will be more liked? And I know it's not all about popularity, but that part at least will be easier with her and the electorate?
Well, there's paradox because campaigns are presidential and they pivot around the personality of the leaders, and yet it's absolutely wrong for a party to look for a messiah. The Liberals have a lot of structural things to do. They've got to find out how to talk to young people. I mean, they ought to be the party of home ownership. That's the number one issue for young people. Hardly any renters voted for the Liberals. Then they've got to get out and about with ethnic Chinese voters and ethnic Indian voters. They've got to clean up the language in the way they talk about the Chinese Communist Party, maybe talk about the Beijing government or something. But, when Jane Hume talked about Chinese spies in Claire O'Neill's office, that was the single stupidest remark I've ever heard from any politician in the history of my life. And they've got to look at the way Australians live now. Now, these are all structural things, and they've got to have an infinitely better social media offering. These are all structural things which rational people can do. I think Peter Dutton ran the worst campaign I've ever seen, but I don't think the totality of their loss resides in Dutton's personality, nor does Sussan Ley have a magic wand to get them back. But they're coming off such a low base that they've only got to perform half credibly, and they're likely to stage a significant comeback at the next election.
Yeah, no, and they're not popularity contests. It was just interesting looking at the sort of net approval rating. Peter and Anthony Albanese wasn't popular in that measure, but Peter Dutton plumbed some real depths towards the end there. As for Anthony Albanese, look, big challenges ahead. Good challenges to have when you're in government, but the trips always reduce before elections, don't they? The overseas trips, they want to be seen as in their own backyard, and he'll be jetting off soon after the election. And the relationship with Donald Trump, that'll be a crucial one. He apparently doesn't know who Peter Dutton is, maybe. He'll know who Anthony Albanese is when he meets him soon enough.
Well, that's right, Tom. I've been very critical of the Albanese government, and I thought it was a very poor government overall. But I do think the Prime Minister handles international relations quite well when he puts his mind to it. And he's handled Trump quite well so far. Very undramatic, sensible, business-like attitude. It's absolutely right that he's going to Indonesia as his first trip after the election. Got to try to make that trip substantial. The government signed a strategic partnership with Indonesia, but what does that mean when you see how close Indonesia is getting to China and Russia? Does that strategic partnership have any meaning at all? The Indonesians want to have an economic relationship, but we've never produced a serious economic relationship with Indonesia. None of our students learn Indonesian language. I mean, there are big issues on the agenda there. And so it's absolutely right that the PM go there first. It's also very good that he goes to the, to the ceremony where the new Pope is formally enthroned, if that's the word, not only as a sign of respect for the world's most important religious leader, but because of the tremendous opportunity it offers him to meet and talk to world leaders who will be there. Mark Carney from Canada, Emmanuel Macron from France. It's possible that Trump will be there. If Trump's not there, someone very senior from the administration will be. So this is a good workmanlike, back to business kind of approach from Albanese. And stylistically, he's doing very well. He's Mr. Undramatic. He's kind of trying to be Labor's John Howard, just as Sussan Ley should try to be the Liberals' Anthony Albanese. So these are good priorities. This is the right way for the Prime Minister to start his second term.
Yeah, all right, there's a lot there. We didn't get to him. Sorry, I wanted to talk Zelensky, Greg Sheridan. Apologies, but there's a lot happening today. We appreciate your time today. Thank you.